Hi, it's Jason from Mash Panel Brewing Supplies here, and today we're going to show you how to make an Australian Pale Ale, very similar to Young Henry's Newtowner. For this beer, we're going to be using 2 pouches of the Mangrove Jack's light malt extract. We're also going to be using some Cascade and Galaxy hops and the Safal US05 yeast. Now, before you get started with any brew day, always clean and sterilize your equipment. I've already cleaned out my fermenter, and I've got my spoon and my jug and my pot behind me here all sanitized and cleaned and ready to go. So let's get brewing. For this brew, there'll be 2 hop additions. We're going to be using 20 grams of the Cascade and 17 grams of the Galaxy in the boil, and then the rest will be dry hopped during fermentation. So we're going to measure out the 20 grams of the Cascade hops first. You'll need a set of kitchen scales to do this. I'm just going to use one. So that's 20 grams of the Cascade, and we'll need 17 of the Galaxy. Perfect. So at the moment on the stovetop, I'm bringing 5 litres of water to the boil, and at that point we'll start our timer for 60 minutes and we'll be adding our 20 grams of Cascade hops. Now that our water has come to boil, we'll start by adding the 20 grams of Cascade and set your timer for 40 minutes. And now we'll add the last of our bittering hops, 17 grams of Galaxy, and set a timer now for 5 minutes, as at that point we'll add the first pouch of the liquid malt extract. Now we're going to add one of the pouches of the PURELIQUID malt extract. All you need to do is just pour him in. Now it will take a little while because it's a thick syrupy substance. But then once that's all in, stir him around and then set your timer for 15 minutes. And at the end, that will bring us to the end of the boil. Now that your boil is done, we're now going to put everything into our fermenter. So you'll grab another pouch of the Mangrove Jack's liquid malt extract, the light liquid malt extract. We'll pour him in. Like so. Try and get as much of it out of the pouch as you can. Now we'll add our hot wort in there and we'll stir him around with the spoon. Give that a little stir. Now what we'll do is fill the rest of the fermenter up with cold water to get it to between 19 to 21 litres. As you may have seen in previous videos, I always keep a jerry can with water chilled in the fridge for a few days beforehand, so it's nice and cold, and it should be about 1 degree. Keep topping up with cold water till you get get to that 21 litre mark. Best part about using cold water is that it helps drop that temperature down pretty dramatically. There's other tips and methods you can use to cool down your water or your wort in your fermenter, like putting in ice baths and things like that. But with extract brewing, using ice cold water does the trick as well. Now that we're at our pitching temperature of 18 degrees, we're just going to take a hydrometer reading. Let that settle before we get an accurate reading out of him. So our hydrometer reading is showing at 1.044, which is exactly what you're looking for with this recipe. So now that we've taken our hydrometer reading and we're at pitching temperature, the last thing to do is obviously pop in your yeast. So all you need to do is just sprinkle him across the top here. And you roll out. And we'll pop your lid on. Make sure it's fairly tight. And the final thing you'll need to do is pop some sanitized water into your airlock and then pop him into a cool, dark place and let him ferment for a couple of weeks. Welcome back to the Mash Paddle Brewing channel. Today we're going to go through bottling your beer now that it's fermented and all the steps through the bottling process. So first up, we're going to sterilize our bottles. For the sterilizing process, what you're going to use today is some NORINSE sanitizer. We're also going to use my trusty little jug here as well. Plus it's always handy to have a bucket on standby as well. So what we'll do is pour our little sanitizer into our jug. We're going to fill this up with about 2 litres of water. Now that we've got the sanitized water, all we're going to do is just pour a little bit into each bottle, like so. Only needs to be a small amount there. What I usually do is I'll actually fill all of these bottles up first, then put the lids on and shake them vigorously for about 15-20 seconds, pour it out, and then you're ready to actually use the bottle. That's the benefit of the NORINSE sanitizer. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy. You don't have to re-rinse, you don't have to wait for it to dry. You can just go from there. Some of your starter kits will come with a bottle brush, which you can use to clean out your PET bottles. Probably better to use these with glass bottles. I only say that because I sometimes find that these may scratch up inside the PET bottle. And you don't want getting any scratches in there. Scratches are more likely going to get more bacteria into those little grooves. It makes it a little bit harder to clean. But still keep one on hand if you decide to move into glass bottles. So now that you've got this all set up, all you need to do is give your bottles a shake like so for about 15-20 seconds. And make sure you're moving more around. Then you can just dip your solution out, which is why we've got our little bucket here. Now it's ready to fill. Now there are other ways that you can obviously clean, and if you're handy you can rig up little gadgets to wash these bottles so you don't actually have to stand here manually and shake them all. Or if you've got kids, this is a good job for them to do and get them involved in brewing. But I find I prefer doing it this way because then I know that every bottle is properly cleaned. Now that your bottles are completely cleaned and sanitized, you can go through and add your carbonation drops into the bottle. So depending on the beer and the style that you're brewing, it'll either be 1 or 2 per 750ml PET bottle. And so that's what the little carbonation drop is. All it is just really just sugar. You can just pop them in like so. Now that that's done, I'm going to take one last reading with the hydrometer, just so we can work out what the ABV of our beer will be, and then we can attach our bottling wand and get to bottling. So to attach your bottling wand, it'll just go underneath the tap like so. Then you turn your tap on. Start seeing your beer flow into your tap. You get your bottle, slip him in underneath. Make sure it hits the bottom. The beer will flow through like so. Hear the bubbling of the airlock. Now once you get to the top, you want to leave about 1 or 2 centimeters gap from your bottle, like so. So that way there's enough room for the actual carbonation and the CO2 to get into your beer without it exploding or having too much room where it becomes flat. Once you've got all your bottles filled, store them in a cool, dark place out of direct sunlight and let them condition in the bottle for approximately 2 weeks before you can whack it in the fridge, crack them open and drinking.